Hello, welcome again to Immigration News and Views. My name is David Nachman. I'm one of the managing attorneys at the Nachman Pawani Zimochek Law Group, the NPZ Law Group, with offices located in northern New Jersey and Ridgewood, also an office in Midtown Manhattan. We also have affiliated offices in Mumbai, India, and we have an affiliated office in Montreal and Toronto, Canada. We also have Canadian lawyers here in our office in New Jersey who practice Canadian immigration law and transfer individuals from throughout the world up to Canada. So this morning what I'd like to do is spend a little time telling you about what's going on in the comprehensive immigration reform world here in the United States and sort of bring us up to date so that all of our viewers know what's happening. So as all of you know, S-744 was passed by the Senate, and of course that has been stalled in the House of Representatives. There was some discussion about the possibility that the House of Representatives would be able to possibly deal with comprehensive immigration reform, but as many of you know, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Warner, was not willing to bring the S-744 to a vote, and so there was discussion about the possibility that they would be able to introduce legislation which is piecemeal as opposed to a comprehensive immigration reform bill. Now, what ended up happening is that the president, of course, was pushing for comprehensive immigration reform, and unfortunately that there was a lot of resistance between the two houses, and so what happened was that in the House recently Warner has appointed an individual who was under the McCain administration who dealt with immigration reform. So that's kind of interesting because what it is that they're not saying comprehensive immigration reform is dead. And what they're doing is it seems like they're moving in the direction, or it could be that maybe the House is just paying lip service to the possibility of some type of immigration reform by having appointed this individual. So this is really to be seen. But one of the things which, when I was in Mumbai, India, I did a speaking engagement at the IAS, the Indo-American Society, which is an organization which our office has been affiliated with for years. And I had a question from one of the gentlemen in the audience about comprehensive immigration reform, and he said, "Why do you think that the House is acting the way it is?" And I thought about it for a minute, and then I said to him, I said, well, you know, I think that what it has to do with is that the House of Representatives sees that if comprehensive immigration reform were to be passed with a pathway to citizenship for the 13 million individuals in the United States who don't have status, unfortunately, it could be the death knell for the Republican Party. What do I mean by that? Well, the reason why is because immigrants traditionally vote for Democrats and they don't vote for Republicans. So what could end up happening is if 13 million individuals are provided with a pathway to citizenship in about 7 to 8 years when they become U.S. citizens, they're not going to be voting for the Republican Party. They're going to be voting as Democrats. And as a result of that, I think that the House of Representatives realizes that if they don't do something or take some measure now, and if comprehensive immigration reform does go through, then essentially the Republican Party will be completely eliminated. So that's one of the reasons why I personally think that the House of Representatives is being so reticent to deal with a comprehensive immigration reform bill. Now the president has been sort of vocal about his wanting to just deal with the immigration issue as a whole. So what he's willing to do is he's willing to take it from the House of Representatives in a piecemeal fashion. So that's what we seem to be seeing as what's happening. And I think that the president, to get leverage over the House of Representatives, as many of you know, recently promulgated a new policy called Parole in Place for individuals who are related to or who are in the military. So anyone who is a family member of someone in the military, related to someone in the military, they can apply for what's called parole in place. Parole in place is a form of discretion. It's prosecutorial discretion where these individuals can submit applications and be allowed to get a work authorization and a form of status in the United States. Now it's a very limited form of status, but what it is the president has done the same thing that he did with DACA, and that is that he has essentially promulgated around Congress a form of status to allow individuals to stay in the United States and he's exercised what's called prosecutorial discretion. So he didn't need to have Congress pass a law to do that. Now, what Congress is going to do is they're going to look at this, the House of Representatives is going to look at this and say, you know what? The president could potentially go around us altogether with regard to the 13 million people in the United States who don't have status, and could, if he wants, maybe allow parole in place or some other type of status, which he can do on a discretionary basis using prosecutorial discretion. Now, if I were in the House of Representatives, I would be a little worried about that, because here you have an opportunity to act. And if you don't act, the president is going to act around you. So this, I think, is the president's attempt to get some leverage over the House of Representatives and to push them in the direction of acting on the immigration issue. It's highly unlikely, of course, with the several days left in this year, that Congress is going to act before the end of the year. However, it is possible that Congress may act at the beginning of next year. So please stay tuned on the comprehensive immigration reform front. We look forward to bringing you new and cutting-edge news in the immigration reform area. If you have any questions at all about how comprehensive immigration reform issues might affect you, your family, or friends, please feel free to contact any of the immigration lawyers here at the NPZ Law Group. We look forward to assisting you. Thanks very much for tuning in.